Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how you keep trying to fix a feeling, but nothing really fixes it? You take a vacation, you go out with friends, you buy something nice, you keep yourself busy, really busy, so you don't have to sit with it. And for a moment, it actually works. And then you're back to that same quiet dissatisfaction you cannot fully explain. You might even think, honestly, nothing is wrong. My life is just fine. And that's what makes it confusing because on the outside, things are fine. You're responsible, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you keep life moving. But underneath all of that, there is this question that keeps surfacing. Is this really it? For some people, it feels like being stuck in a rat race. And for others, it's a sense of guilt, not being present enough, not fully showing up. And for some, it's just this vague feeling that life is happening, but they really are not in it. Nothing dramatic happened, there was no big mistake. When that feeling keeps coming back, even after the trips, the plans, the distractions, it's usually something inside you asking you to stop and recognize. And once you do that, even briefly, the next question naturally comes up. Okay, so if this isn't it, then what is? That's precisely where Dharma begins. Now, in the last video, I spoke about what Dharma really means. It's not religion, it's not rules, but I explained it as alignment. Now, you can find that video up here if you haven't watched it yet, but knowing that still leaves a practical question. How do I actually figure out what my Dharma is in everyday life? And I've found that it helps to think of Dharma as something you understand one layer at a time. So I use this simple map. I call it the Find Your Dharma tool. There are six parts to it. We'll go through them slowly, one video at a time. Today we are starting with the first one called the Sādhāraṇa Dharma, which means values in English, because without this, everything else stays confusing. Now, let's come back to that feeling we started with, that restlessness, that sense that something isn't quite right. Now, here's what is usually going on. Now, someone is doing everything they were told that would lead to happiness, right? They are working hard, they are progressing, they are being responsible. But from the outside, nothing looks broken. But the inside, something keeps rubbing the wrong way. They try to solve it externally, so they set more goals and they make more plans, and it often leads to more stimulation. But the feeling just doesn't go away. And this is the key point. It's not because they're doing something wrong, it's because something important to them is being left out. Take work, for example. Someone has a great job, good pay, good title. Even they even enjoy parts of what they do. But every now and then, this thought shows up. Why does this feel empty sometimes? It's actually not terrible. It's not miserable. Just this hollow feeling in a way they can't quite explain. What actually is happening here is simple. The job is giving them rewards on the outside, more money, recognition, security, and whatnot. But on the inside, it's not touching something that truly matters to them. Maybe it's meaning, contribution, or feeling useful beyond survival. That tension you feel in moments like this isn't your mind being dramatic. It's your inner sense of right and wrong, noticing a gap between how you're living and what actually matters to you. Let's take another example. Someone is always busy. They work like crazy, they fulfill all their obligations, and they tell themselves, hey, I'll slow down later. But at night, there is this uneasy feeling, right? Maybe they haven't really been there for their parents. Maybe conversations with people they love actually feel rushed. Maybe everything feels transactional. Nothing bad has actually happened, but the guilt doesn't just go away. That guilt isn't about poor planning, it's about something deeper, saying this part of my life matters more than how I'm treating it right now. Now, that's a value speaking. And for some other people, it's even simpler. They wake up, they go to work, they come back home, eat, sleep, and this repeats again. They're not unhappy necessarily, but they feel like life is just moving on autopilot, like they're reacting to life instead of choosing how to live it mindfully. That feeling usually points to values like freedom, growth, or purpose being slowly pushed to the side. Now, here's the simplest way to understand values. They're not ideas you pick, they are the things you feel when they're missing. You don't sit down and decide, like, honesty is important to me. You just feel disturbed when you're being dishonest. You don't decide that connection matters. You feel empty when it's missing. Now, that discomfort is your inner compass reacting, not to punish you, not to scare you, but just to say, hey, pay attention. Something important is being ignored. So, here's the first step really simply. Your values are the things that quietly disturb your peace when you ignore them. That's it. That's where dharma starts. Now, this is usually where people pause and say, okay, I can see why something feels off, but what am I actually supposed to do about it? That's where the next step comes in. Because once values are clear, life starts asking something more specific from you, which is duty, what the tradition calls swadharma. Not what you want forever, but what life is asking of you right now. That's what we will be talking about in our next video. For now, don't rush to fix anything. Just notice this one thing that you're feeling and simply self introspect. What keeps disturbing my peace, no matter how busy I am? That's where your dharma begins. Now, if this message resonates with you, subscribe to spiritually grow with me one video at a time. See you in the next video. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.